All right, lesson 2.9, solving the inequalities by adding. So what we're going to do today, 7th graders, is we're going to go back to equations that are addition equations and solve them, but then at the end, our solution is going to need to be graphed because the number that we find is not going to be the only solution to the equation. So when you are solving inequalities, you need to graph on a number line after solving. You're going to end up with an inequality like we worked with yesterday, and you're going to have to graph it on a number line. Okay? So let's go back to how to solve these. Start on the side with the variable and add the number that's the opposite of the number next to the variable. So if this is n plus 8, you have to add the opposite of 8, which is negative 8, so that you get n by itself. And then you have to add the opposite on the other side. Add negative 8 to the right side, and n equals 11, except that the symbol that we have is not the equal sign, it's the greater than or equal to sign. Okay? And so, you need to graph it at the end. So if n is greater than or equal to 11, you mark 11 with a solid dot, and then shade to the right because the arrow is pointing to the right. Now remember, you can only shade it the same direction as the symbol is pointing if the variable is written first. Okay? Daria and Brett, that's a warning. Quit playing with that stuff. Let's look at this one. Negative 26 is greater than y plus 14. Okay? So, again, you have to start on the side with the variable, add the opposite, so we add negative 14 to both sides. But then when we get to the end, negative 40, it says negative 40 is greater than y. We can't graph this by pointing or shading the same direction as the arrow. Why not? Yep, because the number is written first. So when the number is written first, then you have to shade the opposite way. Okay? So we're solving these the same way that we solved them before. You really treat this symbol just like an equal sign when you solve it, but at the end, you write it with the symbol that's in the original equation. Okay? So let's try these. Go to your worksheet for practice. Number 1. Start on the side with the variable. This dashed line represents the two sides of the equation. That shows we're on the right. We're going to start on the left side. And what should we add? Since this is 7 plus x. What should we add to that side to get rid of the 7? Jen? Add negative 7. So that equals 0 and the x is by itself. Then go to the other side, add the same number. 9 plus negative 7 is 2. So bring down the solution and bring down the symbol that we started with. That shows x is x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? Now we have to graph this. This is our solution, but we have to graph it because 2 is a possible solution, but also any number that is greater than 2 is also a possible solution. Okay? Remember that if it's an inequality, all of the numbers to the right of 2 make the equation true. Look, we could put in 2, so that 7 plus 2 is greater than or equal to 9, that's true. But we can also put 3, because 10 is greater than or equal to 9. And 11 is greater than or equal to 9. And every number to infinity that's bigger than 2 is greater than or equal to 9. So that's why we have to graph it. So mark positive 2 with a solid dot. And draw an arrow to the right that shows x is greater than or equal to 2. Now, what's different about number 2? Look at the side with the variable. Roy?
The variable is on the different side than the other side.
Yeah, it's on the right side, so we have to start on the right side. Change this to plus negative, so insert a plus sign, and then add 6. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. That gets x by itself. Then add 6 to the left side. Negative 5 plus 6 is 1. So bring down the solution and bring down the symbol. Now, 1 is less than or equal to x, right? So we mark 1 on the number line with a solid dot. But which way do we need to shade it? Is it to the left, Alex?
Yeah. To the right.
Why would it be to the left?
Because that's the way it's.
But is the variable written first in our solution?
No. Oh
No.
To the right. To the right.
So it has to shade the opposite way that the symbol is pointing. This means that x is greater than or equal to 1. If we turn this around, if we turn this solution around so that the x is written first, the open part is pointed to the x, the symbol is still pointed at the 1, and the variable is written first. So these two things mean the same thing, don't they? This one shows that we should shade to the right. Okay? Any questions on these?
Oh, yeah.
Roy,
Is this graded?
you want to see the practice? We're gonna take a test on this. Alright? Alright, so finish this worksheet for tomorrow.
Oh,